Hello, welcome to this episode of Audit Trails. This is Jake from AuditorSense, and today we're going to be discussing NIST 853 control, AC-4, which focuses on information flow enforcement. The description of this control reads, the information system enforces approved authorizations for controlling the flow of information within the system and between interconnected systems based on your organization's defined information control policy. So let's dissect this for a second. So what does this really mean? The key is that information flow control regulates where information within your information system is allowed to travel. This is specifically looking for where within a system and between what systems rather than who is allowed to access information. So for this, it's where is my information going? Where am I allowing it to go between information systems or within my network or something like that, rather than does Joe Schmo have access to these files or these permissions or anything like that. So the focus on this control is really on the information and more importantly, the flow of that information. So when we're performing an audit on this control, what are some things that we would look for? So we're really looking for enforcement on the flow of that information within the information system. And are the necessary controls and safeguards in place that are mentioned within your access control policies? So some examples of what you could be looking for are making sure that information isn't transmitted in clear text or between different information systems. You could be using a proxy to restrict web requests or setting restrictions on data transfers within your information system, and that can be based on content or input structures or anything like that. Another part of satisfying AC-4 in the information flow enforcement is enforcing the access controls. So when you're doing an audit, some things that you can look for that would satisfy the enforcement aspect of AC-4 is prohibiting information transfers, so not allowing any information transfers between systems. In some organizations, that can be a little bit extreme. Another way to do it is hardware mechanisms to support one-way information flows. So these devices could be gateways, routers, firewalls, anything like that. In addition to all of this, within AC-4, there are several enhancements, but at the moderate baseline, which is what we focus on here at AuditorSense, none of them are required for compliance. They'll only really enhance your security surrounding information flow. So if we jump to the next slide, I always like to reference back to the NIST government website that really has all the control families and gives you a description on everything, is if we focus right here on the middle, the moderate section, if there were enhancements required, you would see the enhancements listed right after. So you'd have a little parenthesis and a 1, and then a parenthesis and a 2, and so on and so forth. So I like to focus on what do you really need to satisfy this control. Like I said, for this one, it's just AC-4, so it's the parent of all those enhancements that you would need to satisfy. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Audit Trails.